Cheat Code. Support Strategist. By Clouds. My Head in the Clouds, Not Coming Down. On AO3. Chapter 27. Viral Weapons. Izuku glared at the calendar like it had personally offended him. It wasn't really fair, since the calendar obviously didn't decide that the time should keep marching forward. But the fact that the sports festival was in 3 days, and Izuku had been too busy helping Shinso and analyzing the first years to plan what he wanted to do. He glanced out the window of his workroom and watched Mei, who appeared to be in her own little world, putting the final finishing touches on Shinso's support items, while her own tech was in stealing growing pale on the floor beside her. It seems like everyone else had a goal for the festival. Katsuki wanted to prove he was the best. Mei wanted to impress investors. And Shinso wanted to get in the hero course. Heck, even his classmates were looking forward to show off their inventions in the first round. So where did that leave Izuku? He found his perfect place in the support course, so he didn't want to transfer like Shinso did. He didn't actually build support items, so he didn't have any to show off like Mei and his classmates did. He just little old Quirkless him, just like he'd always been. Despite the fact that he'd technically been staring at the window and should have seen her coming, Izuku still jumped a foot in the air when Mei slammed the door open and strode in, trying to wipe soot off her nose, but only successfully smearing it all over her cheeks instead. "It's ready," she announced proudly. "Where's Extra Kudakun?" "Probably in class," Izuku sighed, turning back to his current analysis. Like he always is at this time? There was a beat of silence, and Izuku finally turned to look at Mei, who was looking at him suspiciously. "Okay, what's got you down?" Nothing," Izuku sprouted. The crosshairs in Mei's eyes narrowed slightly. "Not buying it, Izuku. You're normally super excited, so..." Izuku shrugged and forced a smile onto his face. "It's nothing. You and Shinso are going to do great in the sports festival." Mei sighed. "Oh, so that's what's wrong." She forcefully spun his chair around so they were facing face to face, and leaned down so Izuku had to lean back to avoid being nose to nose with her. "You're going to do great in the sports festival too, right?" "I don't need to," Izuku protested. "Not like you and Shinso do." "But you want to," Mei countered. Izuku stopped. "What?" "You want to do well," Mei said, like it was obvious. "You want to prove what you can do. You want to show all those stupid bullies that your notebooks weren't a waste of time." "I guess it would piss Katsuki off if I were to make it past the first round," Izuku chuckled. "And the further I get, the more I could help you and Shinso." "Exactly!" Mei punched him carefully on his arm. "So don't let me catch you saying that you don't need to do your best just because you don't need the publicity or whatever, right, Chikad?" Izuku scowled. "I can't believe that you made me make a logo. I'm not popular." "Not now you're not," Mei grinned. "But after you, eh? When you're not some helpless student anymore, your brand's gonna be the biggest in the entire hero industry." "It's not like it's a very large industry to begin with," Izuku murmured. "So, was there any reason you came in here besides to apparently scream some sense into me?" Mei's face lit up. "Oh, yeah, Extra Credit Kun's weapon is done. I need him to do some final tests and make sure everything fits so he could get used to it before the festival. Can you go get him, please?" "Okay." Izuku looked back at the video he was supposed to be analyzing. If he wanted to keep up with Shinso and Mei in the festival without a quirk or fancy support items, he would need to memorize the weakness of every single hero student and come up with ways to counter each of their quirks in 3 days. Fun. Maybe he should make Mei wait until after school, but then Shinso wouldn't have as much time to get used to his new equipment. If only she could go get him herself, but then she'll probably make a scene and embarrass Shinso, which would be brilliant payback for gaining up on him with Mei without the logo, and for those pictures that Izuku has had to steal back after the USJ. Izuku smiled slowly. Mei, I'm kind of busy right now, but I could give you a map to his classroom. Hitoshi was bored. Or maybe he wasn't bored. Maybe he was using his boredom to mask his nervousness? What if his training hadn't been enough? What if Midoriya's strategies for hiding his quirks, advancations required, weren't enough? And everyone would counter him perfectly after the first round. What if the entire class flinched as the door to the classroom hit the wall with a loud bang, and Mei strode in, grease and soot smeared across her face as she gave her best mad scientist grin. Oh, who he was kidding. That was her default expression. They made eye contact across the room, and Mei grinned even wider as she made a beeline towards him. Hi, Mike Sensei. I'm stealing Shinso-kun for an hour, Mei announced loudly. I need to make his babies. Mike choked on his own breath, and Hitoshi turned a bright red that he not thought was possible without some sort of quirk involved. Before either of them could give any reaction, Mei had grabbed Hitoshi's hand, yanking him to his feet and started pulling him towards the door like an overexcited puppy. The class explanations were still audible even after the door shut behind them. Izuku tried to hold his laughter as Mei physically dragged a cherry-red Shinso into the lab, but he wasn't doing a very good job at it if the glare Shinso sent him were any indication. I hate you, Shinso said, seriously. I don't know what you're talking about. Izuku tried to sound innocent, but the stubborn smile on his face kind of ruined the effect. Shinso glared harder, as if he just stared at him hard enough would activate his quirk. You seated Mei on me. Izuku shrugged. You deserved it. Now that we're done embarrassing extra credit, can I show him the baby I made? Mei interrupted. Shinso and Izuku both looked at her in shock. You did that on purpose? Shinso exclaimed. Izuku doubled over in laughter as Mei huffed. Like Izuku really didn't have time to go get you himself. He hacked the USJ. He could have easily hacked the announcement system if he wanted to, instead of sending me. Izuku laughed even harder. I see why President Mike calls us power loaders gremlins now. I hate both of you, Shinso deadpanned. First you kidnapped me, and now this? Why did I even agree to this? Because of this, Mei grinned and dumped a large length of metal ribbon on the table. Meet Hatsume's Industries Baby 367 Amplified Apprehension Armor. Shinso eyed the ribbon suspiciously. What does it do? Mei's eyes glistened with excitement. Pick it up and find out. Shinso scoffed. No thanks. I still haven't forgiven you for those Tazel marbles you handed me last week. Oh, you're no fun, Mei pondered. Fine. This baby has 3 functions. I could add more later, but this is what I could put together while still giving you time to practice before the sports festival. The ribbon reflects sound, so you could configure them to amplify your voice without having to transmit it and even change the way you sound. So it could be used as a voice modifier, but it's going to take some fine-tuning for now. Close, but it'll still sound pretty tiny, and it's obvious that it's in an imitation if the listener is paying attention. All right, Shinso said slowly and hesitantly, picked up the pile, almost throwing it as it apparently lighter than he had been expecting. So, it amplifies my voice. What about the other functions? It almost looks like Eraserhead's capture weapon, Izuku pointed out. Good work, Izuku. I know there's a reason I kept you around, Mei grinned. Hearing you two geek about him made me curious, so I looked him up, and the scarf baby is so cool. It doesn't even seem high-tech at first, but there's so much hidden in it, and... Mei? Shinso interrupted before she could start rambling. I know what Eraserhead's scarf does, so I can use this to grab opponents and stuff. May huffed. Well, yeah, but Eraserhead scarves takes a lot of practice to control, and, practice takes time, and you don't have that. And we can't make it out of fabric since it has to reflect sound, so this version is going to have the same flow as his. Think of those snap bracelets you had back in elementary school. If you slap the ribbon hard enough against something, it'll wrap around it automatically. We'll probably fine-tune it later, but this is good enough for now. Shinso nodded slowly. Okay, that makes sense-ish. That accounts for the amplification and the apprehension, Izuku said, running his hands over one of the ribbons. What about the armor? Mei's eyes lit up with excitement, and Shoto's darkened with fear in response as she grabbed the ribbon and slammed it against his arm. Mei, wait! Shinso tried to protest, but before the words were even out of his mouth, the ribbon had wrapped itself entirely down his arm, encasing it almost completely. He stared at it in amazement. You can use the apprehension function on yourself to make an armor, Mei cracked. Isn't it an amazing baby, Extra Critic-kun? Wow, Izuku breathed. You really outdone yourself, Mei-chan. Shinso took a deep breath and carefully reverted back to his default bored expression. It's okay, I guess. I'll take it, Mei shrugged. Now, we've got a lot of work to do, so let's see you handle that baby. Little note on the fanfic before I give you guys an important message. So, the whole capture weapon that Shinso has, I love how it's like, it is kind of like Eraserhead's capture weapon, but it has its own touches and its own style. It's not just Eraserhead's capture weapon, but now Shinso has it. It gave it its own touch, so now it's Shinso's capture weapon, and it's not Aizawa's capture. It's Shinso's capture weapon, and I love that. I love that much. Like, that is such a cute little detail, and I appreciate that. Izuku sending Mei to go get Shinso for revenge is petty, and I'm here for it. I am here for petty Izuku. Clap for petty Izuku. On to the important news. So, I'm recording this, all of this, as much as I can before the hurricane hits. Because, surprise, surprise, I'm in California. And my worry is the power's gonna go out for a couple days and you guys won't get content. So, do not worry. I have content for, obviously today, because, the video uploaded. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If it extends any more than that, like the power outage, sorry. I'm sorry. That's all I'm gonna be able to do today. I don't have enough time to, prepare more. And as for Wednesday, it will only be one video, and it would be the one shot. I'm not sure if I could get you guys the fanfic cloud podcast, because I haven't written the script, and writing the script is going to take me a while. I don't think you guys understand how long it takes me to write the script. It takes me 2 hours and stuff to sit down, write the script and stuff like that. That video takes me 3-4 hours to produce, to give to you guys. And unfortunately, that is time that I do not have this week. So if the power doesn't go out, I'll still be able to give it to you guys. If not, I'm sorry. The most you're gonna get is the one shot. You'll still get something Wednesday, but it won't be 2. So yeah, hopefully everything's safe. Viewers of mine that are in California and are in South Cal or part of the Central Valley that's also going to be affected, I hope you guys stay safe. As always, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds, have a wonderful day or night, stay safe from the hurricane, join our Discord server, link is in the description, subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.